Hey Queens, it's LATOYA O'Kea, your life coach and your motivational speaker. And this is another video for my journal note series. And so I'm just sitting here scrolling through the pages of my journal. I actually just got finished recording another video. But just sitting here scrolling through the pages of my journal, and I come across this little note that says a man won't value what he did not pay for. Y'all, let me tell you something. Let me say that again. 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 A man will not value what he did not pay for. Basically, easy come, easy go. I don't know no other way to put it. If I had to sum it up, if I had to say it really quick, easy come, easy go. So let me tell y'all this. So now I am a coach. I'm a mentor. I'm an author. I'm a motivational speaker. But the Lord has been calling me to speak to the singles. He's been calling me to speak to my queens in this season. There's some education that's got to take place. There's a lot of things that I have, the Lord has graced me to be able to heal from, to grow from, to evolve from. And so now I know that it is my responsibility to reach back and to speak to my queens and to help my ladies to come to this place that I am in. Because, if we arrive and, we're just comfortable just being there alone, to me, that's less than a woman, that's less than a queen that does not go back to help her other queens, that does not go back to reach back and help and deliver somebody else and bring somebody else along with her. So this is my way of reaching back, okay? Because I know somebody's daughter, somebody's niece, somebody's granddaughter is going to see this video and is going to wake up from her sleep, from her slumber, like I was, baby, because I was asleep. I was slumbering for a long time, and the devil was getting over on me. And so now I came to wake up my other queens, wake you up from this sleep, this slumber that you have been in. And now it's time for you to wake up, and it's time for you to come into the knowledge of God, come into the knowledge of who you truly are. Realize that the throne, as Bishop R.C. Blake says, the throne that is in the room is yours. It's not anybody else's. It belongs to you. It's your throne, and it's time for you to sit on your throne and take your crown and put it on your head, okay? So this is just me using my little slingshots. This is me using my little slingshot to get you ladies to where we all need to be, okay? So a man won't value what he didn't pay for. That is what is in my journal note. What does that mean? You cannot expect a man to value, to invest, to hang around, to give, to care, to love something that he did not have to work for. Something that's freely given. Think about when you're walking in the mall and they give you the samples. I mean, that's a good example. They give you the samples that's in the mall, the sample chicken. Hey, try this chicken. Hey, try this rice. You know what I'm saying? Or think about the clothes on the clearance rack when you walk in the store. The clothes that's on the clearance rack. You just they just been handled. They've been touched all over. Everybody done threw them left, done threw them right. And what people wanted, they picked from it. And what they didn't want it, they left it. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. And so anytime as a queen, you're out here and basically just willy-nilly, and you're basically just giving samples. You giving samples. And I'm not here to judge anybody. Like I say, this is to get you to that place of where we all need to be, of understanding your true value, your true worth. And once you know what you're actually worth, and once you know your value and you start treating yourself like that, other people, men will treat you as such. And the ones that don't, they'll go on up the road. But as queens, we have to know that queens don't give samples. You don't get a sample from a queen. You're not going to catch queen on the clearance rack. Queen ain't marking herself down. Queen ain't coming. Queen ain't doing no markdowns, no takebacks. That made me think about my kids, because every time they see a car that they like, when we in traffic, they say no take back. But queens ain't, and they got a whole nother meaning for it, y'all. So if that's not the meaning, or you say that word don't fit right there, it fit right there for me, okay? Queens don't do no markdowns, no take backs. They ain't on the clearance rack. They ain't in bargain town, USA. No, you're not gonna find a queen in none of them areas. She ain't for sale. Her value is her value, and that's what it is, and that's what it always will be. Some people will respect that, some people will acknowledge that, and some people just won't be able to get with that. It's just like with the Gucci store. The Gucci is not for everybody. Everybody can't go in Gucci and shop in Gucci. Everybody can't shop Chanel. So it's the same way with the queen. She's not for everybody. Everybody can't afford her. Everybody can't entertain her. Everybody can't be in her presence. Everybody doesn't deserve her attention. She's not on the market to be sold, or she's not on the market to be bargained for, or on the clearance rack, or a sample. And so as women, when you do that, and you allow men to sample you, to test drive you, to see how they like it, or to test drive you to see, if just whatever they can get from you, or whatever they can get you to do, when you do that, you have to understand, because see, what women will do, they'll do that, they'll offer themselves, because through the broken consciousness of women have been taught that the more that they do for a man, the more he's going to love them. He's going to see your worth. He's going to fall for you. That is so far away from the truth. The truth of the matter is, the less you do, the more you get. The less you do, the more you get. Baby, I can sit down. I can put this journal down. I can go to bed, because as Bishop say, I done preached. I done preached, baby. Do you hear me? Because the less you do, the more you get. If you run around here doing all this stuff, you be in the ride or die. You be in the doormat. You ride with him till the wheels fall off. And let me tell you, that done been me. Do y'all hear me? That done been me. Glory be to God. God, I thank you. That done been me. Oh, yeah, I'm ride or die. I'm ride or die. I'm show him, baby, ain't no other woman gonna be there for him like I'm gonna be there for him. Ain't no other woman gonna do this or do that, or cook or do this like I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna show him why he should marry me. I'm gonna show him why. And a lot of women ain't gonna tell y'all this, but I'm gonna tell you because it's helping somebody. I ain't up here to point fingers. I'm up here to tell you that I done been that woman. But it's time to wake up. We done all been broke, busted, and disgusted for somebody. We done all been taken advantage of by somebody. But at some point in time, you got to wake up. You got to step into consciousness. Come into your crown. Come into your throne. Sit down and take your position. And operate from a place of high value, knowing your worth. Because until you do that, and until you walk in that, people are going to continue, men are going to continue to treat you the way you treat yourself. And people that are in your life, that you're in a relationship with, that you're married to, these people are a reflection of who you are. Of who you are. You cannot, let me tell y'all, because I just did an episode on the podcast about queens never adjust their boundaries. And I was saying to y'all about if you set your boundaries later, you probably not going to be able to continue with the person that you done been with. Because I'm going to tell y'all, once your dog done got used to sleeping in your bed, your dog been sleeping in your bed for 5 years. And then one day you wake up and decide that your dog can no longer sleep in your bed no more. You ain't having it no more. And you go in there and you go to fussing at that dog, telling that dog to get out your bed. That dog is going to look at you like you crazy. He is going to look at you like you crazy. He'll be saying, what is wrong with this woman? Where's she been? For the last 5 years, I've been sleeping in this bed, and I'm going to keep sleeping in this bed. This woman done lost her mind, baby. And that's exactly the way it is. when you set your standards, when you adjust your standards, when you make up in your mind that you're finally going to have boundaries, you're finally going to have standards, and now you have this person that you with, and you have to understand that he did not invest anything. Everything was given to him for free. Everything was just handed to him. You gave him your heart, your love, your spirit, your body. You handed him everything on a silver platter. You gave it to him on a silver platter. He didn't have to put in no work for it. He didn't have to do anything. It was just given to him freely. Much as he want, whenever he want, just given to him freely. And so then later you set a standard or you set a boundary. That man, he gonna be looking at you just like that dog gonna be looking at you like, what's wrong with this woman? You crazy. I ain't finna start paying for something that I've been getting for free. And I want you to think about that in terms of anything. If you've been getting something for free, whatever, food, cable, anything you've been getting for free, you're going to be looking crazy, and you're going to be looking at these people like, what's wrong with y'all when they want to come around all of a sudden and start charging you for that. And you're like, no, I've been getting this for free. And so it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You can't expect him to respect your boundaries when you never set them in the first place. That's the price that you pay. And this is what I learned. That's the price that you pay for not setting your boundaries in the beginning, for not having your boundaries in the beginning. That's the price that you pay. A lot of times you have to part ways because that person then became accustomed to disrespecting you. They have become accustomed to treating you less than what you deserve because you've been selling for less all this time. And that's because you didn't understand that people will never value, that a man will never value what he did not have to pay for. When you make a man work for you, and I'm not saying make him jump through hoops and have him running like a chicken with his head cut off or have him frantic out here. I'm not talking about that. You're still showing interest in him. You're still showing that you like him. You know, you have genuine concern for him or genuine interest for him, and you know you're reciprocating. There's some reciprocity there. You're reciprocating what he's giving you. You're not giving more than he's giving, but you're reciprocating what he's giving you. Okay, so you have to understand that when the more work that he does for you, the more he falls for you. A lot of times women wonder how men can just walk away from something that they've been in for 5 years or 3 years or 6 years or however long y'all been together. And you may wonder, well, how was he able to just walk away and just get with somebody else? Or he didn't even grieve over the relationship or the marriage. He was just, and a lot of times it's because that man, he had nothing invested in it. He had nothing invested in it. He didn't have to work for it. He didn't have to put in any time. He didn't have to sacrifice. And a lot of times as women, you'll think, I really, really care for this man. I really like him. I really love him. And you'll just start giving him benefits. Because you love him, you want to start giving to him. But you got to hold back on that. You got to hold back on that. And you got to hold it and let him work for it. Hold it. And I'm speaking on this, I'm discussing this because people don't talk about this in church. People are so religious, they miss the mark, and they are continuing to miss the mark. It's certain topics that need to be discussed that are not being discussed in the church. And that's why I walk a very fine line when people call me, you know, like a pastor or a minister. If you want to call me that, that's fine. But I don't want to be only labeled as that, because the work that God has called me to do is great work. And when I say great, I don't mean great as in boasting, but I mean it's wide, it's big, it's a large field, And I know that I'm called to help a lot of people and to address a lot of issues. And I know with pastors, a lot of times they have to walk that line of what their members want to hear, what their church want to hear. And I ain't here to do what the members want to hear or what religious people think I should speak on. I'm here to do the work of the Lord. If the Lord told me to speak to the queens, then that's what I have to do. And I have to speak on them topics. I have to speak on them issues that the religious leaders, the leaders in church, you know, religious people are not discussing. They're not talking about this kind of stuff. It's taboo. It's forbidden. You're not discussing this, but it needs to be discussed. It needs to be discussed. The crisis of women giving too much too fast in hopes of hooking a man, hooking a husband, in hopes of this man seeing what you worth and wifing you, giving you a ring, walking you down the aisle, you coming down the aisle, and then you thinking that you got the prize because you're married to this man or you got the ring. That does not mean that you got the prize, because if he did not work for you, if he didn't have to put in the work, if he didn't have to put in, he didn't have to sacrifice nothing, he didn't have to give nothing of himself, he is not going to value you, he is not going to respect you, and you're going to always have problems with that man. You're going to always have problems with that man. You might get him to marry you. He might marry you, but you're going to always have problems with him. If you did not have boundaries in the beginning of that relationship, in the beginning of that dating phase, if you didn't have boundaries set that you did not adjust, that you did not bend on, but you kept your boundaries, if you did not keep your boundaries, you're going to always have problems with that man. And as I was saying in the Queens Never Adjust Their Boundaries video, see, you'll meet a man and you'll feel like because you really, really like him, in your mind and in your heart that you don't do what you're doing with him with every man. You know that, but he doesn't know that. That's what you got to understand. He don't know that. And so he looking at it in general. He ain't saying, well, she really like me, because what's going to come out of his mouth, not necessarily what's going to come out of his mouth. He might say it later on after y'all done been together for a little while and he confess it to you. But it's definitely running through his mind. Now, what's running through his mind is, she do this for everybody. What's so special about me? This is what he thinking in his mind. What's so special about me that, that she gonna sleep with me on the first date? Or after 1 month? What's so special about me that she gonna miss work, or she gonna stay on the phone with me till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and she knows she got to be to work at 6 a.m. Like, what's so special about me? That's what he thinking. That's what he thinking. And see, you saying you bending on your boundaries, you coming off of what you said you would not do, but you coming off of your word because you're falling for this man. You're in love with this man, or you really, really like this man. And so you're bending on your boundaries for him. But see, this is why you need to always make sure that you do not ever adjust your boundaries. You set them in stone and you leave them alone. Whew, that's a note right there, baby. You set them in stone and you leave them alone. And I'm talking about your boundaries. You get you an old notebook, get you an old journal, and you write down what what you will not tolerate. What you will not tolerate. Write it down and get it in your heart. Get it in your spirit. And get it all up into the makings, all up into the workings of your spirit and in your heart. So when they come for you on that, when they try you on that, oh no, baby, and you're not being disrespectful. You're not being any of that. You're not being any of that. You speaking from a place of confidence, a place of self-love, and you just letting him know. And a real man is going to appreciate that. He'll appreciate the fact that you have boundaries. He's going to appreciate the fact that he ain't just going to be able to just get your love automatically. He ain't going to be able to get your love by default. That he going to actually have to put in some work to get your love. He going to have to put in some work to get your heart. He's going to respect that. And he'll appreciate you for that in the long run. You'll thank yourself for making him work. Because when you make him work in the beginning, and when I say make him work, I just mean that you don't chase him. You don't try to lead, but you step back. As women, we have a hard time stepping back. When we like somebody, we like a man, we just want to take the lead. And we just want to call him and text him. No. You step back. You be ready to reciprocate as your schedule allows. Don't you bend on your schedule. Don't you be canceling, events and canceling your clients or, whatever it is that you do. You don't do that. But when you are free, you reciprocate. You give back what he's giving you. If he texts you when you're free, you text back. If he calls you and if you're free, you answer. If you got something going on, you don't answer. If you're in the middle of dealing with a business matter or servicing a client, you don't answer. You don't answer. You have your boundaries. You set them in stone and you leave them alone. You leave them alone. And he knows, when he knows that you have boundaries, that you're serious about your business, that you're serious about your purpose, that you love yourself, you cherish yourself, that he not just going to be able to just run all over you and tell you lies and cuss you out and raise his voice at you and put his hands on you and lay down with you whenever he want to and as quick as he want to and put his hands all over you and feel all over you and stuff. If he know that he's not going to be able to do that with you, he understand what caliber of a woman you are. He understand now I'm dealing with a whole nother breed. This a whole nother breed. This a whole nother caliber of woman right here. If I'm gonna be with this woman, I gotta come correct. I gotta come with it. Cause she ain't playing. She's serious about her schedule. So if I want to spend time with her, I gotta plan. I can't just show up because she got a schedule. So I gotta make sure that she's free, that she's available. And I can't cancel on her. I can't cancel. This is what he's saying when he see your boundaries. I can't cancel on her because it might be a month before I get a chance to see her again. Because she's busy. She has a schedule she's got to keep. She in her purpose. She ain't playing. I can't call this woman whenever I want to. I can't just show up at this woman's house whenever I want to. I can't do that. I can't do that. She actually has boundaries, and he will respect you for that. Now, later, when y'all are exclusive and y'all are in a relationship and it's established, it's okay for y'all to show up at each other's houses or whatever, do pop-ups, that's a whole nother story. But I'm talking about in the dating phases, you need to have your boundaries. You need to understand that this man, he needs to work for you. He needs to work for you. He ain't sweating, jumping through hoops, trying to do this or do that, but he's leading, as Tony Gaskin said, he's leading in love. He's showing you, he should be leading the momentum of the relationship. The courtship, whether y'all are dating, whatever y'all are doing, as the man, he should be leading the momentum of that. You should not be the one trying to figure out where he at and why he ain't call you and why he ain't text you. And you should not be the one planning dates. You should not be the one changing your status on social media. You should not be the one posting him before he posts you. You should not be the one posting pictures on your stories of him. When you do stuff like that, you have taken over the momentum of the relationship. Now you running it, and he gonna step back and let you run it. And you just taught him that this is how I want you to treat me. I want to take the lead and I want you to follow. That's what you're telling him when you do that. You telling him without telling him. You're telling him indirectly. That's what you're telling him. And in the long run, he will not value you. He will not respect you because he didn't even have to work for that. He in his mind, he's saying, she put me on her Facebook post and I don't even really know her like that. I'm gonna tell you what men say now. A man could be with you for 6 months and he'll say, I don't even really know you like that. I'm still trying to get to know you. Because a man, he's better at analyzing the situation. He looking at what you doing. He looking at what you saying. Women are the ones that sit there and listen to what a man say. A woman will take what a man say so literally, and that man could just be talking out the side of his neck. He don't even mean what he's saying. He just speaking idle words, and she taking everything he's saying to heart. Well, he said this, or what does it mean when he says? It don't mean nothing. He just talking. It don't mean nothing. As women, we have to stop being so literal, and we have to stop being so serious and taking every single thing that man says so seriously, because a lot of times when he talking, he just talking, okay? He just talking. So you got to have that spirit of discernment to know that when they just talking, because a lot of times they just be saying some stuff, especially in the beginning. You can't even be listening to what this man's saying. Don't even listen to what he say. Look at what he does. Look at what he does. Look at what he does. But I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. Understand that he will never value you if he did not pay for you. Now, I'm not talking about, what y'all think I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, gold digging or none of that type of stuff. I'm talking about a man being a man. A man is a leader. A man is a provider. A man is a protector. Okay? I'm just talking about a man being a man. He does not have to make more money than she's making. But he should have that spirit to lead, to naturally lead. He should know his purpose. He should have a vision for his life. He should be a man of integrity. He should be a man of character. He ain't got to be perfect. He ain't got to have it all figured out. But he should want to change, want to grow. And he should know his purpose and what is his vision for his life. Does he know his destination? He may not know how he gonna get there, but does he know his destination? Because the woman is coming to help him get there. But he got to know where he going. So understand, you cannot, as a woman, as a queen, you cannot do all of the work and then expect him to value it. Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm going to say that again. Because I had to learn this. Do you hear me? You cannot do all of the work. You doing the labor, but then you expect him to value it. He'll never value it. He'll never value it until somebody, and that's anybody. That's a child. That's a woman. That's any adult, any teenager, anybody. If you just give them something, they will abuse it, misuse it. But if they had to work for it, if they had to put in the sweat, the blood, the tears, if they had to sacrifice for it, if they had to give something, because when you love, love will cause you to give. The Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave. When you love, you'll give. You'll give. And I want to tell you that you think as a queen, as a woman, from a broken consciousness, because this is the way I was, you may be thinking that what you do for a man is what's going to cause him to fall in love with you. But it has nothing to do with what you physically do for him. You don't have to physically do anything for him. You ain't got to reach for your pocketbook. You ain't got to reach for your bank account, your bank card. None of that. None of that. Your car keys, your house keys. You ain't got to reach for none of that. You ain't got to offer him none of that. It's going to all go by how you make him feel. Do you speak life into him? Do you hold him accountable? Do you love yourself? That's what he's looking at. Do you love yourself? Do you have boundaries? Do you have self-respect? And then he's looking at, are you willing to bend on these boundaries for him? Because he's looking at it like, if you a bend for me, you a bend for anybody. Even though in your mind, you saying you just doing it because you really like him. He's saying you'll do it for anybody. If you did it for me, if you bent on your boundaries for me, you'll bend on them for anybody. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said on that video that queens never adjust their boundaries. And then he, if he's never done it before, it may be, if he's never had to go through that before, it may be like a hit to his ego to see that he's actually going to have to work for you, this is not just going to be handed to him on a silver platter like other women, that he's actually going to have to work for you. But if he's the man that's for you, he'll do it. He'll do the work. He'll do the work. And I think as queens, we misunderstand and we get it all wrong because we think that there are not any men that are willing to do the work. There are men that are willing to do the work, but you have to hold him accountable to do the work. If your teacher let you cheat on a test and just get this and get that, and you pull out your textbook and use this and use that and look over there at your neighbor paper, you will do it. You will do it. But if that teacher is going to hold you accountable to take your test the right way, you're going to take it the right way. The only reason you're taking it the right way and you're not cheating is because the teacher is going to hold you accountable to make sure that you take that test the right way and you do not cheat. And it's the same way. As queens, we have to be the same way. You have to hold him accountable. You got to hold him accountable. It ain't no other way. It ain't no other way around it. You cannot kick back and relax on this and think that it's going to work out in your favor. It's not. It's not. It's going to come back to bite you. If he does not work for it, if he does not sacrifice for it, he will not value it. He will step all over it. It'd be just like giving $100 bill to a 2-year-old. They just, you know, they're not at that mature level. They're not at that age to where they know the value of it. They didn't have to work for it. It was just given to them, and they just will misuse it, and eventually they will destroy it. And so that's the way it is with queens. When you give yourself in all of your value, all of your worth, you just give it over to a man on a platter. He's going to misuse it. He's going to abuse it, and he will eventually destroy it. That's what's going to happen. And that's what's happening to our queens today. But you got to understand, a lot of people say that to the man, talk to the man, talk to the man. No, and I understand why a lot of relationship coaches are not doing that. They're not making videos for men. Or they're not talking to the men, because it's not the man's job to hold himself. I mean, he should hold himself accountable, but like, come on. That's just like saying that student shouldn't cheat on that test. No, they shouldn't cheat. But if they see an opportunity to cheat, they're going to cheat. They're going to cheat. And it's the same way. It's the same way with men, and it's the same way with queens. If this man see an opportunity where he can get one over on you, he going to take it. He going to take it. If he see that you are worthy, that you're valuable, but he also see that you don't know that you are, that you have no idea how valuable you are, you have no idea how worthy you are, you have no idea that a man should be working, should be putting in the work to have you in his life, you're unconscious of that, you don't know, and you just handing yourself over to a man, he gonna take it. He will take it. He ain't gonna say, no, look, you know, you're a great woman, you're a queen, you know, and I just can't violate you like that. I can't do it, baby. He gonna take it. Do you hear me? He gonna take it. That's why you gotta know, and you gotta hold him accountable. And yourself. You gotta have your boundaries. You gotta set them in stone and leave them alone. And you have to understand that if you want to be valued, then you gotta make him work for you. Make him work for you. Be like that female eagle. Put him to the test. And when I say put him to the test, I mean you ain't got to literally sit there and check off each test. Like, okay, he passed this test. He passed that test. Okay. No, you do not have to do that. Just, you know, live, be in your purpose, operate in your gifts, keep walking in your divine destiny. Don't become desperate for a man. Don't lay down and give your body away, and you're not married. Anybody that you're not in a covenant with, you don't give your body to them. You keep yourself unto God. You stay in your purpose, and you don't get in a rush. Don't get in a rush. Understand that slow and steady always wins the race. Slow and steady gonna win every time. You ain't got to try to get in a hurry. You ain't got to try to get in a rush. Slow and steady gonna win every time. Do you hear me? What I mean is, give this man a chance to pass or fail. Give him time, because only time gonna tell. A lot of time queens try to rush stuff. You try to go, you need to slow down, because what you need to find out, only time gonna tell. So you got to let the time play out, because his representative can only go for so long before the real person show up. After a while, Ike Turner gonna show up. Do you hear me? Ike Turner is coming, baby. If Ike Turner in now, Ike Turner coming. Ike. But you got to give Ike time to show up. Yeah. You got to give him time to show up. He come. If he in now, he coming out. He coming out. And can't nobody play no role but for so long. They ain't playing no role for a year straight. Give Ike time to come out. If he got an Ike Turner spirit in him, it's coming. It's coming. But if you jump the gun, if you're desperate, if you don't make him work for you, if you don't, and you never know, he may had an Ike Turner spirit in his past, but he meets you and you love yourself, you heal, you whole, and you speaking to the king that's in him, and you cause him to change and shift his whole life. There are men today that are in relationships, that are married to women that used to be woman beaters. Yeah. And some of the women from their past could tell you some stories about them men. And today, that man is married, baby. He married to Suzanne. They live in the country. They got a picket fence. They happy. They got 2 kids and a dog. And they living the American dream. Why? Because Suzanne loved herself. And Suzanne wasn't falling for his mess. She wasn't falling for his mess. She held him accountable. She loved herself. She had healed the broken, toxic parts of her. She took that time to heal and invest and work on herself. And when she got with a man, when a man came into her life, she knew how to, operate from that queen consciousness. She knew how to hold him accountable. She knew how to make him work for her. And in him working, he became a different man. He changed. That's the way men change. That's the way they fall in love. When they meet a woman that loves herself and that will hold them accountable. A man is looking for the woman that's going to help him come into his higher self. He's looking for the woman that loves herself. He's going to love you by the way you love yourself. If you have no love for yourself, he won't love you. If you have no respect for yourself, he won't respect you. If you have no boundaries for yourself, he gonna walk all over you. He gonna run all over you. He gonna dust his feet all on you. You gonna be his little doormat. I know, because I done been the doormat before. You gonna be his little doormat. If you out here, I heard Bishop R.C. Blake say this is not the world to be living in as a single woman with no standards. You better have some standards. You better have some boundaries. Because if you don't stand for something, the devil gonna have you bowing down to some of everything. You gonna be falling for some of everything. And these people do not look like who they really are. When the devil come up on you, he appears to be as an angel of light. And by the time you figure out who he really is, it be too late. It be too late. That's why the Lord told me to start speaking. Don't care what nobody got to say. Ooh, why is she talking about stuff like that? Ooh, she talking about relationships. Ooh, she talking about singles. Ooh, she talking about it with her man. Ooh, I already know. But the Lord done called me to speak on this, and I got to speak. I got to be obedient. You better be obedient and do what God told you to speak on. Forget these folks and forget what these folks got to say. Because there's somebody that needs to hear what you got to say. So be obedient. Walk in your calling, walk in your purpose. And understand as a queen that a queen knows you got to work for this. I don't care who you is. I don't care who you are. Okay, you're a world-renowned speaker? Wow. You're a world-renowned podcaster? Wow. You're a best-selling author? Wow. Oh, you was runner-up in the ABC competition? Oh, okay. Oh, you ran in the Olympics? Wow. You still got to work for this. Because a lot of times they'll try to throw their accomplishments at you. You got to let them know you still got to work for this. And you making them work for this, not just for you, but for them too. For them too. Because you setting the stage for y'all whole relationship. You setting the stage for you setting the tone. You setting the tone in motion of how the relationship is going to go and how the marriage will go in the future. By what you allow, by what you put up with in the beginning. You set the tone for the whole thing in the beginning. You're teaching them how to treat you. If they do not have to work for you, if they can get you however, whenever, they will not value you. A man will not value you. But if he had to work for you, if he had to put in the blood, the sweat, the tears, if he had to invest, if he had to come out his pockets, if he had to take time away from his homeboys, take time away from his job, if he done had to actually give and sow into you, he done had to sow into your life, he ain't gonna be so quick to walk away. He ain't gonna be so quick to just jump on over with another woman. Because he gonna be thinking about all the stuff he done gave, all the stuff he done invested. He might still walk away, but it ain't gonna be easy for him to walk away. It ain't gonna be easy. Because he's invested in it. He's invested in it. His time, his money, his love, his heart. And when a man's heart is invested in something, he in there. He ain't going nowhere. He in there. When his heart in it, he ain't going nowhere. It'll be hard to pry, and you have to pry him away from it when his heart is into it. And when he had to work for it, you set the tone for the relationship. You set the tone for the marriage. So he will forever work. He will forever work for you. It's hard to shift a man into working for you when he did not work for you in the beginning. It's very hard. I won't say it's impossible, but it's very hard. And I wouldn't advise you to try to do it, because I done tried it, and no. You save yourself the heartache, baby, and just leave. If you don't have boundaries in the beginning and you set them later, just go on and leave. Once you wake up and you come into your queen consciousness, you're going to have to leave that toxic man, because it ain't going to work. It is not going to work. You is not going to be able to get that dog, break that dog from sleeping in your bed. If he been sleeping in your bed for 5 years, he going to keep sleeping there. You might have got him out that night, but you come back in from work, he going to be right back in that bed again. And you going to be like, didn't I tell you to stay out of my bed? And he might get down, and then as soon as you ain't looking, he going to get back in that bed again, because he's accustomed to that. He's accustomed to no boundaries. He's accustomed to not working for you. So even if he does try to straighten up, because he see this new you and you got boundaries now, so he try to straighten up and get his act together. As soon as you turn your back, he going right back to doing what he been doing. He going right back to doing it, because that's what he has become accustomed to. You have taught him how to treat you. So save yourself the heartache, save yourself the trouble, adjust your boundaries in the beginning, adjust them in the beginning, okay? Let him know you not the one. You not the one. You not finna run over me. I'm not mean. I'm not hateful. I'm not a bitter woman, but you're not going to run over me. You're going to respect me because I respect myself. You're going to respect my boundaries because I respect my boundaries. And don't just be trusting in the fact that he got boundaries, so you feel like you can be kind of loose and lax on your boundaries. No, you need to always have your boundaries set and have them there at the forefront of your mind at all times. Whether he got his boundaries set or not, you need to have yours. And so I'm going to leave y'all with this point. Where your treasure is, there your heart is also. And that's vice versa. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. And where your treasure is, there your heart is also. What does that mean? That means that where he's had to invest money, where he's had to invest time, he's had to have conversations with you. He ain't been able to just call you up at 2 a.m. in the morning and get you in bed. But he actually done had to go on dates and sit down in public places. He ain't been able to come to your house, but he been having to go to a public place, to a park, or on the beach, and have long walks with you, have long conversations, long talks. He done actually had to get his wallet, spend money, buy dates, buy trips. He done actually had to invest time and money, and that's the way he falls, by what he does. By what he does. In all of his giving, in all of his talking, he falls. He falls for you. It's not nothing about what you physically do for him. It's not how well you are in bed. It's not how good you are in bed. It's not how good you are in the kitchen. It's not how good you are, with anything. It's what he does. The work that he does that makes him fall. Has nothing to do with what you do. So let him do the work. Let him pay. Not just in money, but in service, in efforts, in sacrifice. Let him pay. Let him lead in love. And it will set the tone for a wonderful relationship, for a wonderful marriage. It will set the tone for, just an awesome life, a beautiful life. And where your treasure is, there your heart is also. So where he's been giving his time, he may have been in the dating phase, he may still be I ain't gonna say may, he is, okay? In the dating phase, he is still seeing other women, because you can't expect to meet a man that ain't talking to nobody, that ain't dealing with nobody. So in the dating phase, in the beginning phases, he may still be dealing with other women, but that's the thing. That's why you need to have boundaries, because that's what's going to set you apart from all of the other women that are in his life, all of the other women that he's juggling. That's what's going to set you apart from them, is the fact that you have boundaries and you don't bend on your boundaries, no matter how much you like him, no matter how much you're attracted to him. You don't bend on your boundaries. Other women, they bending on theirs. They say this and say that, but they don't stick to it. But when you say something, you stick to what you say. You've shown him time and time again that you mean what you say. You've shown him time and time again that I am not sleeping with you until we're married. You've shown him time and time again that you cannot call me after 2 a.m. If you do, you can call, but I'm not going to answer. You've shown him that. You've shown him that you're serious about your business, that you're serious about your schedule, that your children, your family, you're not breaking dates with your family for him. A lot of women, they get in a relationship, they throw their mama to the side. I know, because that done been me, okay? Throw your mama to the side, you throw your daddy to the side, you throw auntie to the side. You like, baby, I got a date. I'm with my man, I'm with my bae, I'm with my boo. And you don't even realize what you're doing. You teaching him how to treat you. You teaching him that you'll throw things to the side. You'll throw people to the side for him, that he ain't got to plan nothing, that he can just come in and just take over your life, take over your schedule, take over your time. That you don't have a life. That's what you're showing him, that you don't have a life. You're showing him that he is your life. So let him work. Let him work. Don't be introducing him to family, and he ain't earned that right to be introduced to your family. As a woman, we want to be so quick to introduce the man to the family, bring him to the wedding, bring him to the family reunion, no. He need to prove himself, show himself worthy. He need to be studying to show himself approved to meet your family. And definitely before he meet your kids. Come on now. So make him work. He'll appreciate you for it, and you'll appreciate the fact that you made him work, because he'll value you. That's where his treasure is. So that's where his heart gonna be. His heart is with the woman that he had to work for. His heart is with the woman that he had to sacrifice for. His heart is with the woman that he had to spend for. His heart is with the woman that had boundaries, that wasn't putting up with his junk, wasn't putting up with his mess. Loved him, spoke life into him, encouraged him, motivated and inspired him, but she wasn't funding him. She wasn't financing him. She wasn't giving him nothing, not nothing physically. That's who his heart is going to be with. So I love y'all so much. This has been another video from the Journal Note series with LATOYA O'Keel. Remember what I always tell you, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. With God, all things are possible. All my queens, I love you so much. Listen to this video. Let it get in your spirit. Take your notes from it, okay? Pull out your journal and take your notes, okay? So I love you so much, and I will check in with y'all next time.